What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sheepkey Sheared podcast, where here we talk about people, politics, and better yet, popular culture. I'm your host, Austin Creed. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you into the best show on here on YouTube, on Rumble, and across the internet. This is a topic that one of my good friends, in fact, my best friend, gave to me today, and I thought was a really good topic and that needed to be discussed. I could talk about politics, I could talk about pretty much anything under the sun, and I will do it. You better believe me, I will do it in the days, months, and years to come. But there's something that I wanted to talk about today that doesn't really get its fair share and doesn't get its due. I'm going to ask y'all a question today. And this is going to be the overall question that I want everyone to be able to answer by the end of the show today. Do you do what you want to do? Or what you ought to do? Because that question plagues every man, woman, and child listening to this show. And how you answer that will dictate a lot of the course of your life. But before I go on, I want your voice to be heard. So if you want to hit me up on Twitter, join the community by following me and keeping in touch with me. My Twitter handle is @AustinCreed. If you want to comment in the comment section if you're watching on Rumble or you're watching on YouTube, you're more than welcome to do that as well. But I want everybody's voice to be heard on this because at the end of the day, everyone has their own struggles in their life. Whether it's you trying to overcome the id, your erotic passions, or you're trying to overcome your past, you're trying to get through a difficult time, whatever it may be. And believe me, there's plenty to go around. The real question is willpower enough? Is your willpower enough to save you, enough to get you through those hard times of when what you want to do and what you ought to do, they just don't mesh? They're in direct conflict, like two rams butting heads in the mountains. What do you do then? It's a very tough question, I know. I understand. Trust me. I've had many instances in my life, and my relatively short one at that. And I know there will be multiple as the days, months, and years go by. But you want to know what I do? It's a trick question. I figured out that willpower is for losers. Discipline is for winners. And I don't just say discipline as in willpower, because people associate the two as they're the same thing, which they are not. Willpower it's like that meme of SpongeBob where he's staring, he's like, I don't need it, and I don't need it, I definitely don't need it. I need it! Yeah, that's what willpower is you're trying to, it's like having a cookie, and the cookie's sitting on the table, and you're like, I'm not going to eat that cookie. No, I'm not going to eat the cookie. But I want that cookie. No, I'm not going to eat it. No, but I want it. No, I don't want it. But I do want it. And then eventually you end up eating it. No, that's not what we're talking about. Discipline is saying, you know what? Not only am I not going to eat that cookie, I'm going to replace that cookie with a bowl of fruit. Or I'm going to replace that cookie with a sandwich. I'm going to replace that cookie with something else. So I'm not just sitting there torturing myself, getting to the point where I'm probably going to mess up. Probably going to give in and I'm going to eat it. Because make no mistake about it. If you're sitting around saying, "Oh, I'm gonna dance that line. I'm gonna play a little footsie with the line. I'm not gonna step over it, but I'm gonna play footsie, and eventually, I'm gonna keep dancing that line, but I'm never gonna step over it." You will. Yeah, you heard me. You will. You will. It's inevitable. The more you flirt with danger, eventually you gonna take it out for a joyride. Make no mistake about it. You will. Now, I get it. When you hear me say that, you're going to say, Austin, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. I'm not weak. I'm not a schmuck. I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. What do you know? Well, say whatever you want, but you'll eventually see it my way because it's inevitable. Even if you are a very strong-willed individual, even if you have the most robust, Herculean strength mentally, you're never going to be able to do it all on pure willpower. You need to retrain yourself, and that's where the discipline comes in. You have to know yourself well enough to say, I can't just sit here and say, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. You got to say, not only am I not going to do X, I'm going to do Y. I'm going to replace X with Y, and then I'm going to have a better situation so that I actually took something, but it was what I wanted. It was the closest thing to what I wanted, but it was what I needed. People associate what they want with what they need, and they like to have the two coincide, but they do not. Let's play this as an example, all right? Let's say, for example, that you want to let's say you're a religious guy listening to the show, okay? And you're having the temptations of the flesh. You're having the urge to act upon your biochemistry and your biology, and you say, yeah, I really want to hook up. Yeah, I really want to indulge in myself. Now, obviously, you're not going to say it like that because that would make you sound like a psychotic. You're obviously just going to go on a date. You're going to have a good time. You're going to enjoy yourself, right? Well, but in the back of your mind, you're going to say, maybe it's not worth it. Maybe it goes against my ideals. Maybe it's not the best use of my time. Whatever it is, you know that you're trading something away, and then you might be compromising on something. Maybe it was an agreement you made to yourself. Maybe it was you're trying to level up in life, and it's distracting you, and you know it's distracting you, and that's really part of the appeal because it seems forbidden in your own mind, and so therefore it's a double whammy. Yeah, don't lie to me. Don't pretend like look. I've been there, my friends. I've been there. I got the t-shirt. I have plenty of t-shirts right over here in my closet. I know what I'm talking about. I've been there. And I still find myself there more times than I like to remember, okay? More times than I like, quite frankly. But it's that insight that allows me to realize that what you're going through right now, whether it's you want to lose weight, whether it's you want to stop indulging in more debaucherous behavior, or maybe it's you want to improve yourself and your desires, your greed, your lust, your whatever, your gluttony is holding you back. Your pride holding you back. Whatever it may be. You want to be strong, but you're not willing to actually give it up. You don't want to give it up because the idea is still there. You're not actually replacing it with anything. You're just saying, oh, well, I want to not want this. That's not enough. That's not going to cut it. If that cut it, nobody would ever do anything they didn't. Everybody could talk themselves out of doing anything. Why do you think human beings are so good at justifying things? Because we give in to everything. That's why. We wouldn't have to be good afterwards with making stuff up as to why we did something if we were good at not doing it, whatever it was we knew we shouldn't do. That is why you need to give up on willpower and you need to develop discipline. Because when you develop discipline, you will realize that, hey, not only should I not want X, I'm going to actively pursue Y. I'm going to pursue it, and I'm going to not just spend that time trying to convince myself I don't want it. I'm going to distract myself. I'm going to actively pursue and desire something else. You got to combat desire with desire. If you're going to combat desire for religious reasons, well, then you got to be having the desire to further indulge in your spirituality. If you're trying to combat the desire of being, maybe it's wanting to lose weight, but you still want to eat really tasty, junk food, well, then you got to find substitutes that satisfy that craving. You can use that energy going there, because everything comes down to energy, my friends. Energy is neither created nor is it destroyed. And so when it comes down to it, your energy, your sexual energy, your gluttonous energy, whatever it is, you have to channel it. You have to use it somewhere else. You can't just pretend. You can't just sit there and be burning on it like, oh, I don't want to do it, but I do, but I don't. No, don't do that. You're just torturing yourself. Why would you do that? You have to really discipline yourself to say, you know what? Not only do I not want to do this, but I'm going to actively, keyword actively, pursue something else. Because the minute you stop doing that is the moment you will get stuck in a shame, guilt loop that will destroy you, that will send you down a binge, that will send you down a rabbit hole of bad mistakes. And then before you know it, you're going to look up from that rabbit hole and you're going to say, Wow. I'm down bad, man. I'm down really, really bad right now. What do I do? What do you do? You get yourself up. If you fall off the wagon, first of all, don't fall off the wagon if you can avoid it. But when you fall off the wagon, pick yourself back up and get back on the wagon. You might have to chase it down. That's fine. But don't sit there and say, "Oh, this is so horrible," and if you don't want to be on the wagon, don't be on the wagon. But don't pretend like you're on the wagon. If you want to get back on the wagon, the wagon is signifying your goals, your aspirations, who you want to become, who you want to be like, what is it you want to do. If those things aren't what you want, then you're wasting your time. If they are actually what you want, then you need to sacrifice everything else to get that. If you want to be a knight in the service of God, if that's what you want, then you have to sacrifice the things that will tear you away. If you want to be a champion in the powerlifting competition and bodybuilding, then you have to pour yourself into it and throw aside the things that are going to trip you up. If you want to be the next billionaire, you got to throw away your broke boy tendencies to get to the place where you want to be financially successful. You can't have it all. You can't. Correction. You can't have it all at the same time. You may be able to have it all in separate individual increments, but you're never going to have it all at the same time, because guess what? Many of the things you want are directly inverse to other things that you want. For example, you want to be really successful, really rich and amazing, but you're not willing to work hard and you want to be lazy and you want to do minimum work. Well, that's not going to work, is it? No, it's not. You want to be out here slanging Johnson, but you also want to get really high level, amazing individuals that are not sullied or whatever. That's the inverse. Not going to happen. You see how that works? You cannot have it all because many of the things that you want work inversely, like two rams combating at each other. And so it's not going to work. That's the problem. Now, I wish I could sit here and say you're going to have everything you ever wanted at the same time, but you won't. And you need to decide what it is you really want. And as soon as you discover what it is you want, you have to be willing to trade everything you have to get what it is that you've decided that you want. Now, that might change over time. The willpower comes in only when the discipline has not been developed. Once that discipline is developed, it becomes something you just do because you know that you learn to love it to the point where you don't even really need the discipline. That's the master course. But it takes time to get there. It doesn't happen overnight. Willpower eventually runs out. Your discipline is a learned behavior that does not fail. You've trained yourself. That's what training is. Willpower is desire. Discipline is training. And if you don't have the training in yourself to act upon what it is you know you must do to achieve what you've set out to achieve, then you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up to mess up and to come short, to fall short of the goal you've set out for yourself. That's what it comes down to. You have to decide if that's what you really want. What are you willing to give for it? If it's just the appearances, if it's just how other people see you, if you want people to see you as a certain way, you're wasting your time. Most people don't care anyway, by the way, in case you didn't know. You need to decide for yourself who you are, what you want, and where and how far you're willing to go. And as soon as you discover that, and as soon as you decide you're willing to take and risk it all, then you will be successful. Then you will develop the discipline required to get there. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. I hate to put it in such terms, but there's no other way. There's no other way. Now, I know, immediately you're probably going to push back. You're not going to like what I'm saying. You're not going to like how it makes you feel. I'm not going to apologize for how it makes you feel, because at the end of the day, your feelings are supposed to be fuel for your ambition. And if you can't do that, you will not get where you want to go. You will be at war on two fronts, with the world and within. And you cannot win a war on two fronts. You are not the Mongols. You are not Napoleon. You cannot do it. You must not fight a war on two fronts. You must win the war within first, and then you must wield your wonder against the world. And the minute you can do that, you will not require willpower. You will not even require discipline. The discipline will become part of something even greater. And that is, you want to know, don't you? You really want to know. The final stage of discipline is complete confidence in your own abilities, self-mastery. You know your limits, you know what you can do, and you never question yourself outside of when, where, how, and why, and you know you can do it. You need to trust yourself to make the right choice because you know what you want. And if you're conflicted about what it is that you want, well, then that's where you got to start. And you need to really, really be honest with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. That is a stupid thing to do. Don't lie to yourself. You need to be genuinely honest about what it is you want. And once you make that choice, use your willpower to develop discipline. Because if you stick with willpower forever, you're a loser. And you will get nowhere. You must develop the discipline required, and eventually you must master yourself. And then you will never be a loser. Anyways, my friends, that's what I have to say on the matter. If you have any thoughts, comments, concerns, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at Austin Creed, or you can hit me up in the comment section if you're watching on YouTube or on Rumble. But until next time, my friends, God bless you, God bless your family, and God bless this beautiful country called the United States of America. And look out for look out for the 4th of July episode. I have a great episode planned, great show. You're going to love it. Till next time, I love y'all. Stay strong, develop that discipline, and remember, do you do what you want to do or what you know you ought to do? And do you have the discipline required to get you where you want to go? Willpower will not save you. Think about it.